Alright guys, so we now finished the retopology section of the course. Now we're going to be moving forward towards the UVs, the layout, and creating seams for our character. And it's a lot easier to create seams with a lower level of topology. And it's also why we don't work at a high poly count, when we're ready for development, and also with the pipeline. So what I'm going to do is I don't want to mirror this just yet. I want to apply this modifier. I'd rather do the work, smarter than harder. It's a lot easier to do this with only working with one half of the model and then mirror it, because it's going to, adopt the symmetry from the opposite side. So with that being said, let's go to edge mode here while we're in object mode, and we can create a seam in lots of places. Think about a human, and when they put on clothes, right? The seams are in spots that are usually hidden, or in the best places to unfold it, if that makes any sense. So with the hands, we have a wrist here. Once you have your edge selected, you can right click and go to mark seam. And don't get it confused with mark sharp. Mark seam is what you want. I'm going to create this separation between the wrist and the hand. You want another one here at the arm, and this can go anywhere. You can add one here if you want, like a sleeve of a shirt. You could do one there. I'll do one here just for the sake of simplicity. We'll create one here, right click, mark seam. We'll do another one that separates the shirt from the pants area, right click, rinse and repeat. And we'll do one for, obviously the foot. Wanted to go all the way around. Let's see if we have any good spots. Let's do the wrist. Let's start off with the ankle. Bring one around here, around the entire leg. Right click, mark seam. Now we can do one here as well, and I think we'll do it here. We'll select this area, right click, mark seam. We'll do one for the neck. For the eyes, we'll go to about here. The nostrils as well. Let's zoom in here for this area. This nice ring here. Right click, mark seam. We'll do another one for the lips. And of course we want one for the head. Just want to make sure you do this the right way. I'm just holding down shift as I select these. Another hotkey is you can hold down control and click where you want the seam to end, and it's going to automatically create the shortest distance to that area. Right click, mark seam. Looks good. Now we have to create a seam to separate this, right? So we need to create a line from the center of the body to connect to the pants, similar to how pants have seams in these, in real life, in these exact areas. That's all we're doing. So we're marking the seam. We'll do the same around the side of the pants, like in real life. And for the leg, we want the seam to be on the inside. The shirt can go in the same direction as the pants. Mark seam, I almost pressed mark sharp. And I think I forgot to do, yeah, I did the mouth already. The mouth, nose. I'm gonna do the hands as well. With the fingers, you want to ensure that they look similar to how gloves are. Oop, I'll press mark sharp. See how simple that was to mess up? Mark seam. And I messed up a little bit on the fingers, the way the topology wraps around. So we're gonna have some wonky area here on the fingers. So this is fine for now. Definitely isn't my best work, but nonetheless it works. Mark seam. I could have definitely done the topology a little bit better with the hands. Everything's supposed to flow nice. I'm gonna do one more from here to about here. And this is pretty good. Good thing we only have 3 fingers, not too bad. One more from the shoulder to the neck. And now we're at a good place. Let's just do the feet real quick. Mark seam. So we have the foot all on one section. I'm gonna have the heel and this may actually be good. Do one more around this section. Actually, we can go from here. Definitely could have did these toes a little bit better. Mark seam. Now we're technically done with this, so let's mirror this by applying it. Let's press tab to exit out of edit mode and go back to the object level. Where it says mirror, we're going to hit apply. So now when we select our model, go back to edit mode, you see now on the opposite side we have the UVs done and unwrapped there. which is exactly what we were going for. Let's save our work. Let's go to File, Save, or Control S. I forgot to add a seam on the arm, so what I'll do is do this really quick. And you want to add it to be hidden as much as possible. So we added the seam underneath the arm instead of on top here. We'll bring it down. Mark seam. Now we're done. Now we're going to do what we call the UVs. So the way UVs work are, you want to unfold the top surface of the object to look similar to how you open a box. And that may or may not make sense to you guys if you're relatively new to the 3D environment and the 3D world, but it's relatively simple. So let's go back to object mode. We're going to hold off on applying this subdivision surface. So we're going to select the object. I want to press Control A and reset the scale, so if anything happened on the object level, it doesn't affect our UVs. So what I want to now do is select our object. We're not going to press and apply our subdivision surface just yet. Let's go to UV editing. And here's where we're going to do the UV section. Just imagine this grid, the 0 to 1 space here, as if you're looking from top down, a bird eye view, looking straight down. We want to be able to see our entire character laid out within this square. So here we have a shirt, right? If I hover over this section, let's go to face mode. Let's go to the top and select face mode. Let's hover over this section of the shirt and let's press L. Here we see it in our 3D view port. We need this to look pretty similar to this on the left side. So what we can do is do press U and go to unwrap, and quickly you see there's a representation of this on the left side now. So we can just rotate this and now it looks like the shirt. So let's right click, press Control Z and go back to where before we did this. Let's press A to select the entire faces that make up the character, and we're going to press U and then go to unwrap, and you should see your entire character inside this square. And if you look closely, you can see what's actually happened. We have the face here, the two eyes, the nostrils, and the mouth flat. You know, it's not wrapped around. And if you do have it wrapped around, that means you have some warping going on, and you don't want that on your UVs because it's going to stretch out the textures that are applied to your model once we move forward to texturing. So this is exactly how we want this to look. So once we have this done, we don't have any discrepancies. We unwrapped this properly, so we're all set on the UVs. So let's go back to the layout and let's apply this subdivision to it. So let's unhide it. Let's press apply. And although we doubled our subdivision count, this is relatively low for a character. And you can hit this overlays drop down and you can go to statistics and you can see your poly count. Here this is 9,800, which is really good for a character. So this looks good. Let's toggle back off our statistics. And if you go to your UVs, you can see it's also been applied to the UVs as well.